Alright guys, we're back. We got some Everybody's Brewing down there. You can see that's a Helles lager. And this one's called Petrichor, which when I saw that I had to pick it up because I immediately thought of Barrister and Mann's Petrichor. Although I don't own that, and I don't really have any intentions of owning that. It made me think of wet shaving, and I was like, shit, I gotta pick that up. And it's a Helles lager, so you know it's gonna be easy drinking. But we got a little pronunciation tip right there, and then it even kind of gives you a little description. So it says, the pleasant earthy scent after a heavy rainfall. And then it says, our clean and refreshing Helles lager with a subtle sweetness reminiscent of warm-baked bread, made with premium German malts and classic noble hops for a rounded body and a spicy, mild bitterness. 5.2 right there. And Everybody's Brewing is a Washington State brewery, so it's out of my state. I don't know where it got that soap from, probably off of my hands, but let me crack this, and then we'll give it a little taste, and we'll get right into it. Alright, let's do it. Oh yeah, that is quite nice. So, pretty much the description is pretty spot on. It's not super spicy with the noble hops. You can definitely tell they're there, but it does have that nice subtle sweetness, like bread, the nice breadiness. Every once in a while you'll hear me call it like a biscuit flavor. Really nice, crisp, easy drinking, not hoppy, not bitter, really easy drinking. Alright, today we're going to be using Wet the Face Cold Fusion, and this one was sent to me by my degenerate brother, Joey, or you might know him as Lord Shady from Instagram and Facebook. But Shady sent this over to me along with some other stuff. Big thanks, bro. I appreciate it. And we're going to get this Menthol Monday popping with Wet the Face. Never used Wet the Face products before. If you're unfamiliar, Don Youngner has his own YouTube channel called Wet the Face, and he has his own business selling soaps and shaving products. This one here is supposed to be one of the most mentholated, if not the most mentholated shaving soap in the game. And so you can kind of see that blue tint, and then underneath is kind of like a whiter soap. But this one actually melted in transit, but if it didn't melt, he actually puts like a crust of menthol across the top, and then there's also menthol built into the soap formula. So I look forward to making a lather out of this one for sure. Now we'll talk a little bit about the lather, but you can see here it didn't whip up into much, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I got my Lancaster bowl, I got my turn and shave custom with a no name, no hype badger knot on top. But before we get started with that, I'm gonna wet the face, and we're gonna go ahead and start this Menthol Monday off with this Menthol Monday madness with a little bit of mentholated pre-shave. Now it's funny because I got some of the Cold Fusion on my hands, and I kind of wiped the excess soap on the face, which I normally do. This, by the way, is the Stirling Mentholated Pre-Shave Bar. It's just a soap bar. It has a low level of menthol. I'll just dip the tip in the water and kind of work some of that into the skin. And this Stirling Mentholated Pre-Shave Bar, like I said, has a very low level menthol chill, but it adds a nice layer of slickness and a nice entry level cooling effect that I think is good for like everyday shaves. And so I really enjoy the Stirling Mentholated Preshave bar. I don't use it as often as I should, to be honest, but I do really enjoy it when I do get a kick out of it. And then I'll just wet the fingertips and kind of work that in to where it kind of froths up just ever so slightly. But anyways, like I was saying, when I was building my lather in my shaving bowl, I actually I had some residual on my hands, and whenever that happens, I usually just smear it along the neck and cheeks so that I can kind of put that residual soap to use. And I just kept working the lather. But funny enough, my neck started feeling the menthol. Even it was just soap; it hadn't even been whipped up yet, but I could already feel the menthol starting to kick in. And so right now, the Stirling and then that little bit of residual, I have a low-level menthol chill going. Now I look forward to using this. This is the matching aftershave splash. You saw me throw a little bit on during my unboxing, but if you notice the bottle is sweating, that's because I had the soap and the aftershave in my refrigerator. And so the aftershave is quite cold and the soap was actually quite hard because I had them in my refrigerator. So we're doing a mentholated shave for Menthol Monday, but I had them in the refrigerator so they were cold to the core. Now, before we get started, we're going to add a little bit of Stirling Glacial Frost Drops, and this is a menthol additive, so we'll give it a little shake, and we'll put a little squirt. Now, one thing about the Cold Fusion is it's marketed as that it has the maximum amount of menthol allowed. And we're going to add a little bit of Barrister and Mann's Terrorade just for funsies. We got a nice, about a third of a droplet. Whoop. And then we got the Menth dealer, the one that the one that influenced all these guys to be as bad as they are. And so we're going to take this Cold Fusion soap, which is marketed as the most mentholated soap in wet shaving, and we're gonna bring it up to the Menthol Kings level, the King of the Mountain here, and we're gonna bring it up to my level, kind of the amount of chill that gets me nice and warm and fuzzy. And so here we go, baby. We got the ultimate chill cocktail. The cold cocktail, baby. And so take a highly mentholated soap, marketed as the most mentholated soap in wet shaving. And they even mentioned the soaps that they tested it against, like Cryogen. I don't know, they had like a list of like 5 or 6, Frostbite, whatever the hell they were. And I just thought it was funny that they're like, yeah, we tested against these ones that you think are highly mentholated, we tested against those. Now it's funny, Lisa Ma of Lisa's Natural Herbal Creations, she makes some great soap products, including wet shaving soap and aftershaves. She saw me do my little menthol post on Instagram, and she told me, holy smokes, I hope you're not using all of that. The maximum you should ever use is about 10%, because you can actually burn your skin and do like permanent damage. And so I was naturally, I was intrigued, and she gave me the breakdown, some mathematics and all that. And she basically said, like, you know, this is how much menthol should be ever used, you know. and this is why. And so I was like, well, I'm the kind of menthol king. I'm supposed to. Anyhow, this is fucking. This has got some chill going right now. So we have skyrocketed past a low tingle, and we have skyrocketed past a medium tingle. We're into the high menthol chill level right now, which is where I'm comfortable. I mean, I'm not doing one of these, but Jesus, this is what I'm talking about. This is right up there with the coldest shave I've ever had. Anyways, let me introduce the goat. And the goat, let me back up and introduce the goat. The Schick Golden 500, and I had to bust out the Goat 500 today because I saw my buddies Eric Lawson and Justin McIntyre bust out the Goat 500. Now I don't know if this is Eric's goat, but I know he definitely enjoys it, and so when I saw the goat gang out on the prowl, I had to go grab the goat and let it start doing its thing. And so, if you're unfamiliar, this is the Schick, Eversharp Schick Golden 500 razor. And this is my favorite razor in my whole collection. I call it the Goat 500 because, in my opinion, it is the greatest of all time. Schick had it right when they made this one. At least the head design. I actually am a big fan of the long handle. I didn't think I would be. I don't have anything else that has a super long handle like this. And so I was kind of afraid of change. But I don't mind it, not one bit. I actually grew to like it. There's just something about it. It's super intuitive, and I really, really enjoy it. You can see my cheeks are a nice shade of very red. Alright, now let's talk a little bit about the soap. I've never used Wet the Face before, and I'm going to caveat that soaps that have a high level of menthol, real menthol, not synthetic menthol, tend to have a little bit of a struggle when lathering. There's just something about natural menthol that does something to the lather. It breaks it down. And so, unfortunately, I think we are suffering a little bit from that. Luckily, there was a lot hiding out inside the knot here. But if you can see, it's kind of a watered down, washed out consistency. Like, it doesn't have a lot of density whatsoever. Which, you know, when you see Don Youngner using his soaps, they always bust out into some huge, voluminous, like luxurious lather. And maybe I'm just not familiar with it, or maybe this high mentholated one just struggles a little bit more than the normal line that's not mentholated. But man, I'm used to seeing Don make like a crazy huge lather with his soaps, and most soaps, to be honest. But I used 3 times my normal amount of soap, which I usually load heavy. Load it like you hate it, load it like you love it, load it like you like it. Like the Stallion says, just load heavy all the time, because why not? You have a ton of soaps to use, you have a ton of soaps to burn through, just fucking use it, you know, just like the Stallion says. Anyhow, I loaded heavy, and I noticed I had a pretty pathetic, non-existent lather. And so I loaded heavy a second time and tried incorporating that into my first non-existent lather. And then I had an existent lather, but it was a pretty pathetic lather. And so I added a third heavy load. And that is when we got to, okay, there's a lather, but I'm not proud about it. And that's where we are now. And if you can see here, I'm not squinting, but my eyes are watering. And look at this lather is like, it's almost not even visible. Like I can see it on my side. I don't know if it's coming through on your side, but it's almost not even visible. It's so thin and transparent. Now you're probably thinking like, you probably washed it out. It's probably your error. You've only been wet shaving for like 5-6 years. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you might be wrong. I mean, right. But you're probably wrong. But I never have problems lathering, especially bowl lathering. And this was just a terrible lathering experience. I had to go back to the tub, sort of speak, 3 times. That's just, that's just not right. You know what I mean? I loaded heavy 3 times to create a very mediocre lather. Now I'm going to caveat, it might be the menthol's fault. I did add more menthol, but you saw it was pretty pathetic before I added the menthol, the extra additives. So I'm not gonna take it easy on it. Anyhow, that concluded the shave. We got away flawless. The goat there's a reason why it's the goat, the greatest of all time. And we are gonna be extra careful to not get anything in the eyes, because that would be bad. My eyes are already kind of like watering as it is. Like I said, I'm not squinting. I'm not much of like a squinter. But that doesn't mean like I don't feel the tingle of the menthol on my eyes. Because I can. And that was another shave, like the coldest shave I ever had was Stirling Satsuma, and I did the mentholated pre-shave and I added frost drops to it. And that was the coldest shave I had. And in that shave, I hit a point where I felt like I went numb. And I think that happened again. Gonna finish off with the Lancaster towel. So I think that happened again. I think I hit a threshold where it came to a peak and then phased out. Like I went numb to it. And this time, it got to that peak in a fucking hurry. This definitely brought the chill. If you feel like there's someone out there that is the menthol king, and my name isn't the name coming out of your mouth, you're fucking tripping. You gotta give me some props. Sometimes there's a time to be humble about it, and then there's a time where you have to demand your props. And this is one of those times. You have to demand your props. And so I will take them now. Thank you. Thank you. No. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's enough. Cheers. Let's get some of this aftershave popping. Still cold. Still a little bit of sweat on the side. Let's give it a shake, and we're gonna throw this chilled aftershave on the grill. And we got a nice industry standard restrictor there. We'll just get some of this on. Now, Joey already did a shave with this, and he said the aftershave wasn't quite as powerful as the soap. Or was it that the skin was already numb from the soap and you just couldn't quite get that burn from the aftershave? I don't know. I did put the aftershave on unshaven skin during my milk haul, and I didn't think it was all that bad. But who knows? As of right now, I'm just feeling a good amount of tingling, but honestly, my skin isn't that cold, and I think it's because I went numb to it during the shave. Anyhow, I got nice and watery eyes, but I'm not squinting, and that was one hell of a shave. I think I've hit a new top, just when you thought the mountaintop couldn't quite possibly get any higher. Cold fusion, it brought it. And then I fucking made another layer on top of that. I built a little scaffold on top of the peak of the mountain and said, this is where DK's at, though. Anyways, enough shit talk, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you appreciated it. Sorry for a little bit longer video. Thank you as always for the support. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.